We're live. Hello, everybody. Hey, Joe. I'm doing much better this week today. Much better. I slept good. I got up. Um, I am not super tired. Um, but for a couple weeks there, I was out of it. So we're going to talk about daylight savings time today. Um, Welcome to the channel, Real Lady Electrician. My name is Crystal, and I'm a retired electrician. Welcome to the channel, Real Lady Electrician. My name is. Turn that down there. So, how are you doing today, Joe? We are having rain and cold right now, so I'm feeling good, but I still have pain. You know what I mean? When you have pain all the time, you take the good. You know what I mean? You take the good and you call it good. You don't just be like, oh, I'm just miserable. Because I slept good. My mind is right. Oh my gosh. Oh, no, I totally understand because of the flight, right? The flight, is that what's stressing you out? Because that's what would be stressing me out. I haven't flown since COVID. The last time I flew, I know my hair is kind of crazy. I'm just trying to straighten it out here. But the last time I flew was before COVID. I would be definitely stressed out. And I'm not sure how that goes. Do you get a straight flight to Hawaii? Or do you got to go to California and then flip over to Hawaii? And some of it might be excitement as well, but I would have anxiety too because I haven't flown in so long. And then I would be afraid that I packed something wrong and they're going to throw my luggage away. There's a whole lot of stuff. We have to go to Dallas, then Hawaii. Okay. I'm very worried about my back and legs on such a long flight. Now, were you able to get any type of designation for handicap? Jamie said my sister was born in Hawaii. Um, are you able to do that on a flight? I think you are, but I'm not sure how you do that. Um, so definitely let us know if you have that designation and how that'll work for you. But yes, I would be worried about, yeah, sitting for too long. Because to Dallas, I can't even imagine how long that is. And then from Dallas to Hawaii, Dallas is probably just in the middle. So um, I'm not really sure. But I think once you get there, you'll have a great time. I've got a wheelchair for airport, but seated on regular flight. Okay. Oh. Well, hopefully they'll be able to put you, because they say handicap passengers. I know they call them up first. So hopefully that will get you one of those seats in the front where you can kind of stretch your legs and get up. Um, or I don't know how it works now. Like I told you, I haven't gone since COVID. So I would be nervous too, Joe. I totally get it. I get it. Even though it's a beautiful place to go and it's a wonderful trip to have, I would still have some anxiety as well. So I think that for us is normal, especially with all the things that we have to deal with as far as pain, as far as mental health issues. Southwest does not, but American Airlines don't, I'm pretty sure. Oh, Southwest does that, but American Airlines don't, I'm pretty sure. Oh, that kind of stinks. Well, I hope you don't get too cramped because that'll make the pain, I think that'll flare if you're all like, you know what I mean? And the recline is like this. So um hopefully you can get comfortable. You'll just have to give us all the deets when you get back. Are you going for like a week or? I do have an aisle seat though. That's good. That's good. That way if you need to get up, you can. Um yeah, that's good. That way you're not squished in the middle. 6 days. Well, hopefully you'll get a lot of sun. It wasn't a long flight from Indiana to Pennsylvania, but the airport wasn't so bad with COVID restrictions or anything. Maybe it's because it's been so far after, but I do have a fear of the COVID restrictions and going to the airport. So maybe they're like more lax now. I don't know. I haven't flown in like I said, since before COVID. So that's good, Jamie. Hope you get some sun and you have some fun. And I'm assuming your husband's going with you. So he'll be there to support you. Okay. Okay. I don't have, okay, 6 days. Okay. So what we're talking about today is daylight savings time. Hey, Paranormal Gaming, how are you doing? I've flown a lot since COVID because of Jason Shab. The airports are pretty normal now. Okay. Well, that would help with my fear of that part. Yeah. That would help with my fear of that part. So I'll just come on and tell you guys if I have to fly, and you can all just lift me up. And, my biggest fear was the carry-on bag because I called to ask questions, but they were more lenient at the airport than they explained on the phone. Okay. Okie dokie. I'm going to put some of this. I've been having a dry cough. So I got some of these dry, the lozenges for dry mouth, and this is a spray. And it has been helping with my cough because when I get the dry cough, it doesn't stop. Okay, finally caught you live. I see your post, but it usually canceled. Oh, yeah. Well, that's what we're talking about today. So last week I was here, my computer died because we did slumber party the Friday before, and I did not make sure it was plugged in correctly. That was my fault. So we're talking about the same thing this week, but 2 weeks I canceled in a row because of daylight savings time. So yeah, paranormal. I just for some reason this year I noticed it. I noticed how bad I felt. I didn't sleep good. And when was that? That was the middle of March, right? And now it's April. So it's taken 2 or 3 weeks. I've only flown 3 times to California and back, and then Indiana. Yeah. Hey, Cheetah, how are you? Patrick, how is Cheetah today? My kitties, one is laying in the window. They're both in the windows, but I'm sure that little annoying one is going to come over here and irritate me because that's what he does. But he tried to get up here earlier, and I scooted really close to the desk. I'm like, no, you cannot get up here right now. You got your Dexicom. That's awesome, Jamie. Oh, he's downstairs. Okay. Oh, yes. Which in turn makes my pain, depression, and anxiety worse. Absolutely, Joe. Absolutely. And I said, maybe I noticed it more this year. Like last year, I was recovering from that kidney thing. I didn't really pay attention to it because I felt crappy all the time. But this year, I've been feeling pretty good. So, yeah. I got sidetracked. I took my medicine. I am not on a lot of caffeine because my stomach has been upset, and I blame daylight savings time for that too. But when it happened, I thought, no big deal. It was no big deal. That was on Saturday to Sunday. Then on Monday, I slept till almost noon. It took me 3 weeks to get used to the time, getting darker later, and like that 1 hour, for some reason, instead of sleeping till I sleep till I was sleeping till 9. So instead of sleeping till 10, I was sleeping till 11:30, 12. And I think that has to do with because it was getting darker later. So we're still going to bed at the same time, but it's still not dark. It's darker later. So your body isn't getting ready for sleep as soon as it could. So was I staying up late? I wasn't sleeping well. That's all I know. I was in the brain fog. I could barely keep a thought in my head. It's amazing. Before I know. That is so cool, Jamie. I really, really am going to try to get that. I really do want to get that. So that should help control it better as well. That's what I'm hearing, that not only does it give you your numbers, but you can control your diabetes better with that too. So yeah, I was out of sorts the first week I canceled. I had brain fog for an entire week. I felt miserable. I was irritable, snarky a little bit, tired the entire time. I could barely keep a thought in my head. And I started having stomach trouble. I don't know if that's daylight savings time. I think that's something different. Unless we read today that it can be digestive issues. But yeah, so then the second week, I started to feel better, but I still was in the brain fog, so I canceled again. Then the third week, do you find you're waking at odd times even for regular napping? I can't get any sleep normal since. Yeah. Yeah. And I would try not to nap, so I was drinking excessive amounts of coffee and stuff. That could have been why I started the excessive acid. My tummy has just not been right. Hi, Wilma. Yeah, waking up at weird times in the middle of the night and then like sleeping too late. So I wasn't sleeping good. So instead of napping, oh, and I did nap. So I don't normally, but I did that week because I was just so tired. So tired. And when we would go to bed, because it's daylight now till 8 o'clock, and we go to bed at 9, where before it was 7. So when you see it dark out, your body starts to go into that. Okay, we gotta. Hey, Nay, how are you doing? We got to go into that. Our body goes into that. Okay, we're gonna get ready for bed. Well, it was an hour later, so I wasn't going. I was going to sleep. Not only an hour later, like instead of 10:30, 11:30, I was up until 2. I think one night. Hi, Joe. I had to go for my mammogram this morning. It hurt this time. Oh, no. Oh, no. How are you doing, Wilma? And Nay, how are you doing today? And we're talking about the crazy daylight savings time. So, yeah, messed my sleep up so bad. Messed my sleep up. I'm finally starting to get back into the swing. So, I don't know if it's getting any better for you, Joe, but it started to just this, I think, past couple days, actually, I would wake up and feel refreshed, where before I would wake up and I would just be dragging. And then I did take a lot of naps. And I don't normally nap. That's not my jam. I like to sleep it all. Oh, yes, I'm not getting much sleep at all, Nay says. Hurting. I am falling again. I go next week to my doctor. Oh, that's good that you're going to your doctor. Um, I'm sorry that you're hurting from falling. That's the worst. That is the worst. Okay. So yeah, any other things about daylight saving times? Messing up your sleep, messing up your whole clock. And then when my clock was messed, I got normal this weekend, but then my travel anxiety took over and messed my sleep up again. Oh no, Joe. I understand. I totally get the travel anxiety too. I really do. Um, Thank you. I thought I was going to end up in hospital again looking at. Oh, I'm glad you did not end up in the hospital. Oh, Wilma. I hope all goes well at your doctor's visit and you just need to heal up a little bit. Nothing's serious. I'm hoping that that's the outcome that you have of your doctor's appointment. And so you can see I haven't had a lot of caffeine. So I have energy and I have a little bit of brain fog. I took all my medication today. But I took all my medication last week and I still could not function. I don't think I could complete a sentence right after daylight savings time that whole week. And as you know, it took 3 weeks to get slumber party instead of every other week. The last slumber party, there was 2 weeks between because that week of daylight savings time, I forgot the whole week. And I was like, no, this week is summer party. And Jamie's like, well, it's been 3 weeks. And I'm like, no, it hasn't. It's only been 2 weeks. And she's like, it's been 3 weeks. So I looked, I'm like, holy crap, I lost an entire week. So that as well, daylight savings time. I was a zombie for an entire week. And that weekend I was helping with the shower and I was just so irritable. I didn't want to be there. We had a baby shower. Was it not this past weekend, the weekend before. Mm-hmm. But I've got a bunch of articles here that say it's not good for us. So why do they do it? I've got 4 articles today, and they're all saying about how the time change affects us in a negative way. There's very little positives. I'm like, why in the middle of spring do we need this extra hour of daylight? It's too cold to do anything. I say if you just let it go gradually, our bodies would adjust gradually, right? I don't understand it. Michigan does it. They've talked about not doing daylight savings time, just keeping it one time the whole year. And nothing has happened. So I'm not sure why they don't just do it. It's not is it a polarizing subject like Republican, Democrat? I don't think. It's something that they could do probably super quick, where all this other stuff they try to get through doesn't happen very quick. Just don't change your clocks, you know. Mm. They shouldn't do the time change. They've talked about it for our state, but nothing done. Right? Nothing done yet. They keep talking about it because people are like, especially, I'm a boomer, right? I'm 54. And so all the boomers that are retiring or, getting lighter schedules at work and stuff, and we're like, we want to enjoy life. And then here it comes, bam, daylight savings time. Screws you all up. It's horrible because we're creatures of routine. And when they do that switch, I don't know. That's why we have the articles. I don't know exactly what happens to your body, but I was messed up. I lost an entire week. I'm like, no, Jamie, it's only been a week. It's this weekend. And she's like, 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks. They're trying to pass medical wacky weed. Guess that's more important. Not that that's not important, but it'd be easier to get the daylight savings time passed, wouldn't it? There's no political. Like with the weed, there's Republican, Democrat issues, but with daylight savings time, it's not really a political issue. It's a health issue. So, yeah, I wish they would move on, get it done. And and I'm not sure who does savings time, who doesn't. I'm not sure about all that mess. So, I'm not educated on the situation. I just know that I lost an entire week. I was a vegetable. I'm sure my husband didn't want to be around me. I'm like, I didn't cook that week. I did start back cooking this past week here. I just didn't feel like it. I think we ate a lot of takeout that week, which is not good for us. And I can't think of what else, but yeah, I just felt like crap all week. That first week. The second week I started to come out of it, and I think now finally I'm feeling better about it, but I don't think it was necessary. I really don't. So the first article we're going to look is here we go right here. How springing forward to daylight savings time could affect your health and how to prepare. So this will be for next year or for the fall. I don't know if I'm going to have trouble in the fall because we fall back and it gets darker sooner. I think we need to just choose one. You thought today was Friday. The only reason I knew it was Wednesday, to be honest, is because I knew it was doing a live today. So no worries, Wilma. But yeah, they definitely need to do something. Something needs to be done about it. So I'm going to go to the bigger page so you guys can see. There we are. And I'm going to start this one. How springing forward to daylight savings time could affect your health and how to prepare. Okay. And this is 2024, March 9th. And this is PBS. This is the pbs.org. Okay. Most of America springs forward Sunday for daylight savings time, and losing that hour of sleep can do more than leave you tired and cranky the next day. It also could harm your health. Darker mornings and more evening light together knock your body clock out of whack, which means daylight savings time can usher in sleep trouble for weeks or longer. Studies have even found an uptick in heart attacks and strokes right after the time change. There are ways to ease the adjustment, including getting more sunshine to help reset your circadian rhythms for healthful sleep. Not unlike when one travels across many time zones, how long it can take is very different for different people. Says Dr. Eduardo Sanchez of American Heart Association. Understand that your body is transitioning. Oops, here we go. I'm going to scroll this down and then come back. So they're saying that more heart attacks occur during daylight savings time, and it can knock you out of whack for a week or even longer. They said, or even longer, it could be months and months. So this is going to tell us, it doesn't sound like it's really, I'm not sure. We're going to go through the article. We'll see. But yeah, I found it very difficult this year. And I want to say, because when I was working, I was always tired, always lethargic, lots of brain fog. Just I was not doing well while I was working. So I wasn't sleeping. When I was on swing shift, I definitely didn't have good sleep habits. Then I finally went on straight afternoons at my new job, and that helped a lot. But I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but my blood pressure is higher right now. I'm not sure. Let's see. I'm going to check mine. Actually, I had, huh? Yeah, in the utility room. I had a checkup. It would have been last week. For my new insurance, my Medicare. A lady came to the house. It took like 10 minutes. She took my blood pressure and everything. And I had coffee and my blood pressure was okay. I was surprised. She said, in your home, your blood pressure is probably lower than at your doctor's office. That's just normal, she said. But there's nothing that says that can't be part of it, especially if you're still off kilter. Okay, we're going to go back in. look. Okay, when does daylight savings time start? We knew that. An hour of sleep vanishing in most of the US. The ritual will reverse on November 3rd when clocks fall back. Hawaii and most of Arizona don't make the spring switch, sticking to standard time year round, with Puerto Rico, America Samoa, Guam, and the US Virgin Islands worldwide. Dozens of countries also observe daylight savings time, starting and ending at different dates. Some people try to prepare for daylight savings time sleep jolt by going to bed a little earlier, 2 or 3 nights ahead, with a third of American adults already getting the recommended 7 hours of shut eye. Catching up can be difficult. Now, I don't, I was already in a, we have a sleep, like a, what do they say you should have? Like a routine. Okay. So we have a sleep routine, and that routine is what helps me to go to sleep. So I don't think going to bed an hour or two earlier before it happens is really something that, I mean, I don't want to go to bed at 8 or 7. You know what I mean? Um, Paranormal Gaming says, I've got high blood pressure and I take a pill called amlodipine. I am on blood pressure medication too, and I'm pretty sure Joe is as well, but I'm not positive. I am also on a blood pressure medicine, so maybe that's why mine's not high. If you don't take one, Joe, it could just be, just for a little while. And it could be due to the daylight savings time because I think it's higher if you don't get enough sleep. Not sure. I'm not a doctor, a therapist, a psychiatrist, psychologist, nothing. I'm just a Joe Schmo that has a lot of mental health and physical health issues. Hmm. Okay. Let's go back to the article. So I don't think I would do that. I don't think I would go to bed earlier because I think that I don't see how that would make it better. Um, Morning light resets the rhythm, but by evening, levels of a hormone called melatonin begin to surge, triggering drowsiness. Too much light in the evening, that extra hour from daylight savings time, delays the surge and the cycle gets out of sync. But you can't change the sun. You can't change the sun. So I don't understand what this article's point is. If I cannot change the sun, then going to bed earlier is not going. I don't see how it's going. I don't. I'm sorry. I'm against it. I don't want to go to bed earlier than 9 o'clock. I'm already an old lady. If I go to bed at 7, I have to eat at 5, at least at 5. So, okay. I might stop reading this article because I'm not agreeing with it. Sleep deprivation is linked to heart disease, cognitive decline, obesity, and numerous other problems. And that circadian clock affects more than sleep, also influencing things like heart rate, blood pressure, stress hormones, and metabolism. All right, Joe, there it is. There it is. It can have effects on your heart, your blood pressure, um, and all the things. So, and I said that's on, this article is from pbs.org if you guys want to read it, if this isn't enough. So, fatal car crashes jump the first few days after springtime change. According to US Traffic, the risk was highest in the morning, and research attributed to sleep deprivation. Then there's the cardiac connection. The American Heart Association points to studies that suggest an uptick in heart attacks on the Monday after daylight savings time begins and in strokes for 2 days after. Doctors already know that heart attack, especially severe ones, are a bit more common on Mondays generally and in the morning when blood is more clot prone. It's not clear why the time change would add to the Monday connection, Sanchez says, although probably something about the abrupt circadian disruption exacerbates factors such as high blood pressure in people already at risk. All right. How to prepare for this? Go to bed earlier. No. Afternoon naps and caffeine as well. The evening light from phones can make adjusting to an earlier bedtime harder. Yes. American Medical Association, American Academy of Sleep Medicine have said it's time to do away with time switches and that sticking with standard time year around lines better with the sun and human biology. Okay, that's the end of that. Sorry, you guys. So it says the American Heart Association, American Medical Society. If they really could get in there and do that, I think it would be very helpful for us. If they could, those are big associations, and they should they should be able to sway. I don't understand why it's up to politicians. I guess government, blah blah blah. That's how we do things, but sorry, you guys. You know what else is bad now? My allergies. Man, we just can't get away from it, can we? Sorry about that. Thought she was going to cough up a fur ball. Come on. Here, Patrick. He's coming. Oh, look at that. Precious. Precious, precious. Say hi. Precious, precious. Say, if I'm coughing up a fur ball, it's because this guy won't get off me normally. I'm doing okay. I have a very deep cough. Panther sightings, yes. And it's so pretty. Look at that. Look, you're gonna get up here. You need to look at the peoples. He's like, whatever. I just want to be on you. Oh, here he goes. No, no poking. No. Okay, anyways. Panther won't get his claws out of my shoulder. Come on, what are you doing? He is gorgeous, but he's a pain in the butt sometimes. Just a pain. I can hear him purring like this. That always relaxes me, the purr. You have to get off my shirt, buddy. I don't like that. He does not care by any means. He does not care. Okay. Let's go. He wants to cuddle. Yes. Only when I'm on the computer. Well, no, he still cuddles in the living room, but when I'm on the computer, he especially wants to get up here and be annoying. Because and if I'm on my cell phone, oh, he'll bother me. He'll bother me too. Yeah. He's like, any free minutes you have must be spent on me. Ow, 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 ow. You're going to have to get down. Come on. Stop poking. It hurts. Okay, enough about my cat. Okay. Say hi to the people. They're never annoying. Well, you have a good kitty. Mr. Cheetah is a sweetie. This guy. All right. This is the best. I'm glad he made a show for you today. Say hi. I'm a little baby. I'm just a little baby. I want my mom to cuddle me. I'm just a little baby. Are you just a little baby? Okay. I'm getting sidetracked. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at the dark side of daylight savings time. Oh no. Well, 10 cats, I only have 2. I have 2. I hate daylight savings because if I had to go somewhere, I was always coming home when it's dark. And it was before 6 p.m. The cheetah is meowing at you too. Ah, hello, cheetah. Do you see Mr. Panther? Do you see? You have a friend. You have a friend, little brat cat. All right. Okay. Which one? Oh, the dark side of daylight savings time is what I decided to do. All right. I'm sorry, guys. He's messing me up. I should put him down. Put you down. He's not allowed to lick me. These are dry. Kitty kisses. Okay. Present. Share screen. The dark side of daylight savings time. Let's see what they're talking about. Oh, and this is Harvard Health Publishing, is where this article is from. Okay, I'm going to pull it down there. Close that. There we go. We're going back to we're getting back to business here. No more kitties talk. Be good. All right. The dark side of daylight savings time. What can an hour's time change in spring disrupt our body, sleep, and mental health? Why? I don't know why, but it does. All right. March 1st, 2023. So this is from last year. Most Americans will observe the start of DST in spring forward by setting the clocks an hour ahead. The exception are people living in Arizona and Hawaii. DST lasts from March until November when the clocks turn back an hour to return to standard time. People can enjoy more time in the sunlight in the evenings, but that convenience comes at a price. That 1 hour change may not seem like much, but it can wreak havoc on people's mental and physical well-being in the short term, says Dr. Charles Czeisler, professor of sleep medicine at Harvard School. Go toward the light. Okay. Research suggests that changing our clocks twice a year can have various health consequences. Of the two, springing ahead 1 hour tends to be more disruptive. The hour change can upset our circadian rhythms, the body's natural 24-hour cycles, regulating key functions like appetite, mood, and sleep. Circadian rhythm largely depends on light exposure. The hour transition in the spring initially causes darker mornings and lighter evenings. Less morning light can decrease levels of the mood boosting hormone serotonin. Exposure to light later in the evening can delay the production of melatonin, the hormone that helps you fall asleep. So doctors and studies and things, they know all this. Why are we still doing this? I don't get it. You're stuck. Go. Okay. Paranormal, when me and my husband were rescuing, we had over 50 cats. That's great, Joe. That is great. When it comes to sleep, though, daylight savings doesn't change everything for me, though. I never sleep. Oh. So, if you're already getting bad sleep, come on, man. Took on my medicine. The one thing I didn't take was that cough medicine, which I should have. Sorry, you guys. Okay. That is an awesome adventure, though, right, Joe? I fostered some kittens, and then we had some of the feral cats in our neighborhood fixed, and then one of the cat rescues came in and did the rest, and then rehomed them all. Okay, and Jamie says it doesn't matter because her sleep is yuck yuck. And I have to tell you, Jamie, I felt how you must feel for that week. It was, I don't remember a lot from it. I didn't sleep well during it. I was a zombie for an entire week. It was not fun, I have to tell you. If you feel even partially what I felt. No, if I felt partially what you felt, I'm sure it's worse for you than it was for me. It was horrible. So I can't even imagine how you are able to function on a day-to-day basis. And you as well, Joe, with the lack of sleep. I think Paranormal said they have insomnia as well. No, it was Wilma. I think it was Wilma who said she has insomnia as well. And it did make it worse. So here we go. All right. Circadian rhythm largely depend on light exposure, the hour transition, darker. Okay. Many people have trouble adjusting their sleep schedule to the new time for the first few days or even a week. They may go to bed later or wake up earlier than usual, which can cause sleep deprivation. One study found that an average person gets 40 minutes less sleep on the Monday after daylight savings time begins compared with other nights of the year. And I do know that after that happened, I still had my morning alarm set for 9. And I would hit snooze for like an hour. So of course that made me feel crappy. And then at first it was horrible, but it's been so long now, I guess I'm used to it. And that's probably what it is. You're used to it. That doesn't mean it's any better. I've lost my train of thought. What were they talking about in the article? I would go to bed. My alarm clock was set for 9 because I was getting up at 9. So when the daylight savings time came, it would go off at 9 and I would just feel like crap. Don't forget to give our host a thumbs up. Thank you, Jamie. So I was feeling horrible. And so I did that for a few days with my alarm clock. And then I'm like, okay, no alarm clock today. Then I slept till like 12 o'clock. And maybe it was because I didn't get sleep I don't know. But I was totally off my schedule, totally off. Because sleeping that late then made me stay up later. And I was feeling depressed because I'm like, the whole day is gone if I'm sleeping till noon. The whole day is gone. I just feel horrible. And that put me in some depression. And I was still taking my meds, but that definitely affected me as well. I'm like, I feel like a lazy, not doing anything person. So then I said, well, we sprang forward an hour. So instead of 9, I'm going to set my alarm for 10. That did not work out until last week. The alarm would go off at 10, but then I would stay in bed for another hour and still not get up till 11. But I was getting better. I was feeling better. So I could tell there was a progression. And then, so by this week, I am getting up at 10. I woke up today a little bit before 10 and before the alarm went off. And I'm feeling a lot better. Maybe if I put the fan on. You know what else is not in here is my air cleaner. I think I'm going to have to put it back in here. So. Because I have so much stuff in here that I'm sure everything is dusty. Okay, so I'm finally feeling better. I'm finally getting up at 10. So hopefully in the next month, I'll get back to my 9 o'clock wake up time. Because I just had to say to myself, okay, we're going to set the alarm at 10. If you get up or you don't get up, you need to quit feeling guilty about not getting up. And that took a minute, but I did start to not feel bad about sleeping later. But then once I started not feeling bad about it, then I was starting to get up at 10. 10, 10:30, 11, 11:30. So I did start to feel better. And so now, We go to bed at 9. I still have the same, I do the same things to get ready for bed. And I'm still staying up till 11:30 instead of going to sleep at 10:30. So I think that will start to change once I start getting up earlier, but that's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. But at least now I'm not depressed about it. It really threw me for a loop. It really did. The depression just kind of set in, and I just felt like I can't get anything done today. And then the one week I had to run all over the place all week. Doctor's appointment, helping with the baby shower, running around with family, friends, doing all the things. And I was definitely irritable that week. So now that I've actually been able to get rest, I took, I haven't added stuff to my calendar. And then whenever someone calls, I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to stay in today and clean the house. And because I didn't do anything for a week, nothing, no dishes, no laundry, nothing. I was feeling that bad. So, okay. Let's go back to the dark side of daylight savings time. Okay. Disrupted sleep can cause people to feel fatigued, groggy, and less focused. Absolutely. This may explain, in part, the 6% rise in car accidents, according to a 2020 study in the journal Current Biology. Poor sleep caused by DST can also exacerbate existing problems like depression, anxiety, and seasonal affective disorder. All right. Prepare for the switch. This is what they said in the other article. Alter your bedtime. About 3 days before, go to bed and wake up 10 to 15 minutes earlier than usual. The next night, 20 to 30 minutes and 30 to 45. By the end of this period, the body would have adjusted to the lost hour and you won't have the stress of trying to quickly catch up on sleep. Now, that might work. That sounds way better than the other one. Take afternoon naps. If you feel tired in the afternoons after daylight savings time, take scheduled midday naps for 20 to 30 minutes. Get more light. During the first week after the time change, try to get about 15 minutes of exposure to morning light, which can help maintain your circadian rhythms. Another option is to use a light box that produces a bright white light. Lux is a measure of light intensity. Sit about 12 inches away for 30 minutes. Keep your eyes open, but don't look directly at the light. Spend the time reading, writing, and just being present. Delay your day for several days after the time change. Postpone beginning your daily routine for an hour, for example. If you go on your morning walk at 8 a.m., wait till 9. Give yourself a chance to adjust. And he says again, shorten your start time by 10 or 15 minutes within a week. Your body should be reset to the new time. Curb the alcohol and caffeine. Cut back on drinking alcohol and caffeinated beverages several days before and after the time change, as this can disrupt your sleep. Okay, so that is the end of that article. Okay, let's go to StreamYard and see. Oh, there's only 2 of us left here. So do you guys have any other questions about daylight savings time that the articles maybe didn't cover? Because we have 2 more articles we can go to, or we can just chat. Let's see, there it is. Okay, there we are. 219. So we still have 40 minutes left. And if you did get to see last week's live, I think it was 10 minutes. But that was the start of the discussion. And it might have more information if you need it. Okay. Either is great, Jamie said. What did I say? Oh, either. Okay. So Oh, my niece had her second baby yesterday. Yeah, Tuesday. She was induced yesterday. And so she posted a picture. So I am a great aunt, second time over. And then my nephew's baby is due in May, I think. And we just had her baby shower 2 weekends ago. Thank you, Jamie. She's got 2 boys. And then my nephew's supposed to be having a girl. What are you doing over there? He's on my makeup. So, yeah, that's what's been going on with me lately. I'm getting out of the daylight savings time thing. I am getting better. Like I said, today I got up at 10, and I think I fell asleep 11:30 last night. But then I did get up around, like I have been getting up at weird times, like Joe was talking about. I would get up like an hour later or half an hour later and have to use the bathroom, where normally I would go to sleep and I would wake up about 2 o'clock to use the restroom and then go back to sleep for the rest of the, And my husband didn't complain about it. He's not really a complainer. But I noticed I lost an entire week. Okay, Miss Jamie. And also this Friday, we're going to be doing slumber party. We will be doing trivia, and that'll be our third winner. So we have 3 people on though, because last week there was 2 winners. Week before there was 1 winner. And so we'll see who wins this week. And then 2 weeks from that will be the other one, and we'll do the grand prize. So if you're interested in slumber party, it's Friday night at 9 Eastern Standard Time. And we do makeup or face paint, or we did makeup last week, so we'll probably do face paint this week. And we'll just have some fun, do some trivia. Oh, I think it's just me and you, Jamie. Unless Jamie's gone and it's just me. I have 1, it says. I know it's dragging. So you can see I'm still a little bit out of it. Not totally, but still a little bit out of it. Yeah. Oh, hey, Nay, you are here. Okay. I knew there was someone else here. I just didn't know who. Is there anything that you've experienced during this daylight savings time? Anything you noticed? Any questions that we might be able to find the answers to in our articles today? And then also you heard about slumber party. It's this Friday. So I know the trivia, we're still doing the Are You Smarter Than the Fifth Grader trivia. It's funny how hard it can be sometimes. Like I have the answers, but I'm like, oh, I never would have got that. Okie doke. Let's go on to another article. Daylight savings time, everything you need to know, thesleepfoundation.org. So this one is going to be, let's see if I can move you up. Thank you. Present, share. All righty. So I don't know if it's because of time. I've been under a lot of stress, no sleep. It could be. We saw that can add to issues that you might already have. So if you need to talk about it, let us know. And if you don't want to talk in the chat, you can always DM me or Jamie or Joe, anybody in the chat on Instagram. But yeah, it could exacerbate your stress. I don't know if it causes it. Well, like I said, I got really depressed and it was because of daylight savings time. I start to feel like I'm not getting up, I can't get anything done, and then I just didn't want to get off the couch. And I did take several. I think I took a lot of I'm watching TV, fall asleep, and then you go, "Oh, I took a few of those." Um, so yeah. And no sleep really, really it's hard to sleep when you're stressed, and then the lack of sleep makes your stress even more noticeable, even worse. So, yeah. Yeah, so and they said that this daylight savings time thing, it can be more than a couple weeks, it can be a couple months for you to get used to it. I think it just depends on you and your like I said, we have a sleep routine, and so when they changed the clocks and it was lighter later, I wasn't able to get into my routine because it was still light out at 8, where it was getting dark, or it was getting instead of getting dark at 8, it was getting dark at 7. So I was having a couple hours to for the melatonin, you know what I mean? The melatonin to come in and help me get sleepy. So sleep routine is important. It doesn't solve all your issues, but it is important. And daylight savings time messed mine up bad. And then that affected my mental health. And I was probably under a lot of stress because I've been having a lot of stomach trouble. And so yeah. hmm hmm So I hope it gets better for you, Nay. I hope you don't have to keep going through this sleep anxiety cycle for too long. I know we all kind of have to get through our stuff on our own timeline. I get that, but I hope the best for you. Next Wednesday is your birthday, and daughter wants to take me out, but I don't feel it. Now I understand. I understand the not feeling it. If you don't want to go out, would you maybe enjoy her bringing food to the house and just sitting with you and chatting with you instead of going out into a restaurant and all the people and that kind of thing? That might be an option if she still wants to celebrate with you, but you don't feel like going out, because if your anxiety is high, going out, yeah, happy birthday, Nay. So if your anxiety, I mean, that's another option. If you want to go out, you want to get, you want to overcome that not wanting to leave the house type feeling, I totally go for it. But just another option if you're still not feeling it. And you can tell her too why you're not feeling it. I mean, I'm just really stressed, not sleeping. Okay. Let's go back to the article real quick. Everything you need to know. Now let's see if they have everything we need to know in this article. Daylight saving time, blah, blah. Hour, we already know all that. Most of the United States, Hawaii and Arizona and the U.S. territories do not, Virgin Islands do not practice it. For the start, we set our clocks an hour on Sunday. Adjusting the time by 1 hour may not seem too drastic, but sleep experts have noticed troubling trends that occurred during the translate. Humans and other mammals are guarded by circadian rhythms. These rhythms are largely dependent on life exposure. This can essentially delay your sleep-wake cycle. Humans are most vulnerable to sleep deprivation in early March as they transform from standard time to daylight savings time. Major sleep disruptions are less likely to occur in November when it ends and it goes back to standard time. I've always preferred fallback. Always. Because then you get an extra hour sleep, right? You lose it. Yeah. Because it's at 9 o'clock. It's actually 10 o'clock. So you lose an hour of sleep. Um Some studies have suggested that the human body never fully acclimates to daylight savings time. Rather, their circadian misalignment may become a chronic or permanent condition that can lead to more serious health problems, especially for those who experience social jet lag because their demands at work or school take precedence over a full night's sleep. Social jet lag has been linked to a higher risk of obesity, depression, and cardiovascular disease. The effects of daylight savings time subside gradually after a few weeks. And the other article said it could take months. So let's not put a time limit on it. I'm feeling better. It's been about 3 weeks. Um, should we ditch it? Yes. The beginning is in March. A lot of risk factors. Experts advocate for abandoning the systems altogether. Right. They argue the permanent standard time is more in line with human circadian rhythms and that this schedule would carry benefits for public health and safety. On the other side of the argument, people in favor of daylight savings time argue that at least 70 countries around the world observe it as it decreases energy consumption, reduces cost, and protects the environment, which is also evidence that crime rates decrease with the use of DST due to the lack of dark hours. Representatives from Florida, Massachusetts, Mississippi, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Oregon announced plans to pursue the Sunshine Protection Act, a bipartisan bill intended to make daylight savings time permanent nationwide. 33 states pursued or enacted similar resolutions at the state level, though not all have been successful. To make daylight savings time permanent. Oh, to not switch back to standard. When dealing with disruptions to your circadian rhythm, melatonin can be helpful to get you back on track. Sleep tips: avoid alcohol, establish a consistent sleep routine, gradually alter your bedtime, spend time outdoors. And it was cold, so you really couldn't. Nap in moderation, don't consume caffeine too close to bedtime. Okay. So these are just repeating all the stuff that we've already talked about. My doctor thinks it's my menopause, so he put me on pills. That could have an effect. When we enter menopause and lose estrogen, it can cause us to become depressed. Now, he put you on medication. If the medication is not helping, you may want to ask him to change it for you if it's not helping. If you don't mind telling me, what did he put you on? If you do, you don't have to put it in you don't need to put it in the chat. Because I do take some antidepressants that do work for me. And like I said, even with all my medications, mental health medications, physical health medications, I still had a whole week. Oh, you haven't taken it. Okay. Excuse me. Now, if you feel like you can get through it, give yourself a couple months. But if it lasts longer than a couple months, it could be due to menopause, the loss in estrogen, and you may or may not, you may need the medication. But I would talk to since you haven't taken it yet, ask your doctor, what is this going to do to me? Why are you giving me this particular drug? Is there something that might be not as potent? Is there a natural remedy I could try? Is there, you know what I mean? Instead of just not taking it, get more information. If you're worried, get more information. And but you have to remember, and my sister hates taking medication. So she doesn't take anything for anxiety and depression. And she is probably in premenopause. And she's afraid of the medication. She's afraid of the side effects. And I told her that what you need to realize is the number one side effect of not taking medication and having depression and anxiety is it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse if it's not taken care of, because it's a chemical imbalance in your brain. Now, if it's just temporary, you can get through it. You know your body. You know your mind. If you don't feel right, um, and you're not getting good sleep, that could be contributing to that factor. Um, but if you're going to a therapist or a psychiatrist and you need, like, I have to have medication. If I don't take it, I within a week or two I become depressed. Um, I don't want to get off the. I feel the way I felt with daylight savings time changed. I'm foggy. I'm not engaging. I'm just irritable. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to do anything. Um, and that is bad for me. But not everybody has to take medications. Just ask your doctor more questions. And then if he recommends actual therapy, you might want to just try that. That is very helpful if you don't want to take medication. You can try that as well. And if the therapy helps, then you know you didn't need the medication. But if the therapist is like, I think we're going to, because they don't prescribe medication, they would have to refer you to a psychiatrist. But I would start with a therapist. If you don't want to take the medication the doctor gave you, start with a therapist, and you got to get a therapist that understands you, that you like, that you actually want to talk to. So that's a hurdle as well. I'm sorry, Nay, I'm just giving you more stuff to do. Get a therapist if you can afford it. Yes, that's me. And having crying every now and then. Oh yeah, I was on the couch for like an entire week, and all I did, I would get up. My husband would go to work, so I would get up when he got up, which was like way early in the morning, so I wasn't sleeping well. We would turn the TV on, he would go to work, and I would still be in the same place on the couch when he would come home, just crying, just sitting there crying. And I would look up and I would be like, oh my gosh, the whole day is gone because I was just in my head the whole time. And no matter what I did, I couldn't get out of it. So I started with therapy and I started with some medications that did not work. So I had to change doctors. I had to change my um I had to get a psychiatrist for my medicines. Someone who knew, okay, I'm glad that it's helping. Um so the therapist won't put you on medications. They should recommend a psychiatrist for you to talk to. And that would be a better way to get medication than your general doctor just prescribing you whatever. Because my general doctor tried that and I was on it for 2 or 3 months and it didn't work. I was crying. I cried myself just all day for 2 or 3 months. And maybe not every day, but most days. And I knew that it wasn't working. I'm like, I shouldn't feel like this. I shouldn't, be so broken. I shouldn't, like, I'm not getting off the couch. Something is not right. So when I went to the therapist, we did the therapy, and then um, she recommended that I talk to the psychiatrist, which was a separate person, same company, separate person. And fortunately, I got a good psychiatrist who knew about medication. And he prescribed me medication that's been around forever, not a new medication the drug people are bringing to the doctor. I can't remember the name of that first one I took, but 3 months is too long to not have relief. They just kept saying, keep taking it. And it says 4 to 6 weeks. Well, when I went on the new medication from my new psychiatrist, it was days. It was days. And I was like, I can't believe I feel so much better. Because if it's not something that you can take care of yourself or that therapy can take care of, then it's a chemical imbalance in your brain. And that comes from, you can develop a chemical imbalance at any time in your life, and it's usually due to trauma. Okay. And I think we've talked about that before. So don't feel bad if you have to take medicine. There's a stigma, but if your brain, say your heart isn't working right, are you gonna just fight through it? No, you're gonna take the blood pressure medication, the cholesterol medication, and start exercising and things like that. And nobody's going to look at you sideways for taking blood pressure medication, cholesterol medication. So pretend your brain is your heart and it's not working right. And no matter what you do, it won't work right. So if your blood pressure is crazy, are you just going to be like, no, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. And it's just high all the time. You're not going to do that. So when your brain doesn't work right, you definitely can't sleep. You may not be eating a lot of stuff. You may not be doing a lot of stuff. And so a lot of people don't realize the medication is for the disease, the chemical imbalance. The medication is for the chemical imbalance, just like the medication for high blood pressure is for high blood pressure. So I don't understand the stigma that people give you. I had so many people say, well, you don't have to be on it for life, right? And I would say, I don't know. You could probably do natural remedies. I tried natural remedies. I tried everything in that 3 months I was sitting on my couch. I tried it all and nothing was better. Nothing helped. And so when I finally when I was fed up with my doctor, every time I went, just keep taking it, 3 months. I said, okay, I'm gonna find a different place. And so I called a few places. I found one that would take my insurance. And another thing that they should be okay with is if you're not okay with the first therapist you talk to, you should be able to go to a different therapist in their setting because you still want your insurance to cover it. They should have more than one therapist and you should be able to choose. If they get mad at you for not staying with the therapist, something's not right. And I wouldn't go there anyway because there shouldn't be any jealousy. Everybody doesn't click together. Um, that kind of stuff. It's just personalities and stuff. But if you have a therapist you don't like, you're not going to tell them what you need to tell them so that you can get better. So I did the therapy. I was still having trouble, but because I was so depressed, not only did I do the therapy, she immediately recommended the psychiatrist. So I think it was a month or two, and then I finally got into the psychiatrist, and he gave me specific medicines. He was a young guy. I really liked him because he gave me the ability to adjust my dosages as needed to find out what worked best for me. He basically put my health in my hands, which I appreciated. And I'm not saying you're going to find anybody like that. He was awesome. And he left to do private practice because he was so good. But just if it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right. And you need a different therapist. If you're a psychiatrist, if they're not listening to you, get a different one. And this could take a while as well. But you don't feel like you're less than because you have to take the medication, because you're not less than. You have a disease of the brain, a chemical imbalance. Now, you don't know right now whether you do or not. That's something that over time, and with doctors, with your team of doctors, your therapist, your psychiatrist, they will help you figure that out. You can go it alone for a few months, but if you're going through it alone and it's been a year, you got to get some other help. If it's just therapy, sometimes therapy is all somebody needs. So, and you may not need the medication. I'm just saying that if you do, please don't feel less than because you're taking the medication. If my arm was broken, I would go to the doctor and I would get pain medicine for my broken arm. If your brain is broken, you have a chemical imbalance, you have to get some medicine that will help with that chemical imbalance. So, you know what I mean? People don't, for some reason, any medication we take for anxiety and depression, they don't get it. They don't understand it's a disease. Any disease you might have with the doctor, you're going to get medication for. So I'm not saying do the medication. That's not what I'm saying. Do what makes you comfortable. And my recommendation would be to start with a therapist and then find a good one, find one that listens to you, that you like, that you'll talk to. And then, as you talk and you get a relationship with this person, You don't have to do therapy for the rest of your life either. If you're feeling better, by the time I was feeling better, my therapist was like, "I think we're doing really good. I think you're doing the work. You're doing good. So we can change instead of once or twice a week, we can go once every couple of weeks, once every month, and then we'll eventually you can just come as needed when you're having a problem." And that's what I would do when I was having a big problem. I would go talk to her, and I preferred a female therapist. Not everybody does. There are male therapists you may be more comfortable with, but you just got to find somebody that you want to talk to and that you like. So those are the only things I recommend. And it may not be the first therapist because I went through at least one therapist I didn't care for. She just agreed with me, and she didn't help me feel better. My second therapist, she would agree with me on some things, but she would always say, okay, so now let's look at this in a different light and this, things like that. So my second therapist was much better than my first. And again, a lot of this is going to count on your medication, you know. Yes, talk to your doctor because you got to start somewhere, and doctors don't know everything. And like I said, my general practitioner was giving me what the because I had samples. So it was what's that called? Big pharma, a drug company would bring those in, and she would give them to us, if we didn't have good insurance. But I told her it wasn't working, and she was like, just keep taking it, it wasn't working. It should not take 3 months for your depression medicine to kick in. It should not. They say right there on the label 4 to 6 weeks. If it's longer than that, and like I told you, when I got the right meds, it didn't take a day or two, but that's just me. So if you have any questions, Nay, go ahead and feel free to ask them. Because it's important that you get the help that you need, but you have to be your own advocate because they're not advocating necessarily for you. They're doing what they know, what they've done for other people. You know what I mean? Well, this has worked for so and so. Well, I'm not so and so, and it's not working for me. Well, just keep taking it. I heard that so many times, and I was like, all right, I have to. That was my general doctor. I said, and I was going to a therapist, and I said, I am going to have to find somewhere else to go. The therapist wasn't helping, the doctor wasn't helping. I said, I think I need an actual psychiatrist. And what I did was I went to one of the bigger cities in my area, and I said, I started to look for someone because I live in a small town. And so I started to look for someone, and I did find better care that way. So you may have to go outside your area unless you live in a big city and you have a lot. Like, we don't have a lot of mental health care stuff in my city, or at that time we did not. And so I said, okay, I'm going to the pros. I'm going to the people who have thousands and thousands of clients. That's where I want to be. I want to go there. I want to be part of that big group, and hopefully they'll help me. And they did. So good luck on that journey, Nay. It's a long journey, but hopefully it will help you. And again, anybody who says you don't need to take and I'm like, yeah, I might have to take them for the rest of my life. No, you won't. And I'm like, yes, I have a chemical imbalance in my brain, and I will have to take this for the rest of my life. You don't know how many people told me, oh, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. And I'm like, but that's why I'm here. That's why I'm on Wellness Wednesday Mental Health, because you're welcome, Nay, because I got so much crap about it. Why did I need to be ashamed for taking mental health meds? When I take medicine for thyroid, I take medicine for, at that time, it was polycystic ovarian syndrome. I took medicines for all these things. And I was like, why do people keep trying to tell me to get off the medicine when I feel so much better? I couldn't understand it. And that's why I'm on YouTube with Wellness Wednesdays, because a lot of us get the same stuff. There's still a lot of stigma attached to mental health. And you just got to think of it like that, So if my stomach isn't working, I'm going to take medicine for that. If my arm isn't working, if it's in pain, I might take medicine for that. If my heart isn't, I'll take medicine for that. If your brain isn't working, why wouldn't you take medicine for that? unless it's just you just got to get through this time, and some therapy will do that for you. And there's no medicine involved in your therapy unless it's recommended, and they still won't force it on you. So, and if they try to, then find someone else. That's a red flag. We should talk about red flags. If they try to make you take something and you don't want to, that's a red flag. If you don't like talking to them and you don't want to share it, that's a red flag for a good therapist. If you want to switch therapists and your therapist is like, well, so and so's not as good as me, blah, 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 that's a red flag. You should definitely change your therapist. So, yeah, I've been through it. I know a lot of people in our chat have been through it as well. And it's only just a couple of us here, but I'm sure one month or 1 week there'll be more people, and then they can tell you, we can go over how they got. As a matter of fact, maybe we'll do that next week, how to get a good therapist. We'll start with that. So I didn't have a topic, so I think that's what we'll do, how to get a good therapist. And we'll talk about everybody's different situation. I know Joe's been through some stuff. Excuse me. I'm not sure who else. Wilma, I think maybe. So we can get some people to share their stories so you can see that you're not alone. So, okay. So I'm glad that that was helpful. That makes me happy. And just, you already are depressed and anxious. Just the guilt is not going to help. And you don't need to feel guilty about how you feel. There's no reason. No reason. And I didn't feel guilty, but people tried to make me feel guilty, because when I went back to work, I started talking about mental health, and I started talking about I'm on medications. And then when people would try to talk me out of it, I would be like, no, I'm on these medications because if I don't take these medications, you like me now. Take me off this medication and you will not like me at all. That was my spiel for all the people that were like, oh, you don't need that stuff. That's just whatever. That's just doctors trying to give you medication. Well, I don't disagree that that doesn't happen, because it did happen to me. But when you get it right, when you feel good, when you're in your right mind, and that medication has put you there, you are so grateful that you can function as a human being. You know what I mean? Instead of a vegetable who can't get out of the house and cries all day. So, yeah, I think we'll talk about that next week. I think that's a good. Thank you, Nay. I think that's a good topic, and we'll talk about different questions to ask your therapist and stuff. I'll find a couple articles, and we'll go over that next week, because it's important. It's an important thing to do, and it can be difficult depending on your insurance, where you live, what's available, how far you can drive. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll hit all that stuff next week. Yeah. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, Nay. And I hope you feel better, because I feel good talking to you. It helps me as well. Summer party's Friday. This Friday coming up. So just in 2 nights here. We haven't decided what we're going to do for a look. Miss Jamie, are you still with us? But it's going to be, we did makeup last week, so we're going to do face paint this week. So maybe something spring-like, because we did Easter that one time. So maybe something spring, like flowers or something to be painted. Yeah. 9:00 Eastern. And yeah. So so it's 2:53, and I'm not sure who else is here, if anybody else is here. I think we're gonna go ahead and close it, because all those articles were kind of the same. But I'm glad that we did find out about the blood pressure thing, because Joe was asking about it, and I'm like, I don't know, but it is true. It can cause heart difficulties, blood pressure. What else did it say? It said a bunch of different stuff. The PBS article, I think, was the best. So pbs.org, if you're interested in finding more out about that, that was the best one, I think. And all right, well, I think, Nay, we're going to go ahead and shut it down. It's 2:54. So I want to thank you for coming. Thank everybody that's been here today for coming. And let's all give you know, give a have a great day to Nay so that she's feeling our love. Yeah. You have a blessed day too. You have a blessed day and a blessed week. And I hope you feel better. Yeah. So I will talk to you later. Yeah. That's it. That's all I have. I'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody. Bye.